Alright, guys, can I have your attention, please? Alright, good to see everyone here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing interest in Capital Talk and in DotSwap. Thank you for coming. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna gather around. Take a seat if you want, or hang around wherever you're comfortable. Alright. So yeah, we're so happy to see everyone showing their interest in Capital Talk, or like the newest innovation in Bitcoin, Bitcoin smart contracts and all that. First, Lin, want to talk? Okay, so here's like can we get a round of applause for the founder of DotSwap who make all this possible? Alright, Lin, take it away.
Yeah. Hello everyone. So just relax. Okay, this is a non-official meetup. Okay, there's no official here. So let me have self-introduction. I'm Lin Zheming from DotSwap. Okay, so maybe you know a little bit DotSwap, a little bit about DotSwap or not, but it doesn't matter. So I start shooting now. Okay, DotSwap built the first public minter for captain the protocol. Why we go there? Because I think it is the future. Okay, it is not about the Cap20 protocol nested in Fractal. So maybe it is a sub or meta protocol in Fractal Bitcoin. That is because with the enable of Opcat, Cat protocol can run on top of every UTXO object that has Opcat enable. So Fractal Bitcoin might be the testnet for Cat protocol. It's just a testnet. It is not related with Fractal Bitcoin, but still, I think we have pretty much great potential ahead. Like by using Cat protocol, we can have parallelized UTXO structure, parallelized processing power, okay, and all those states can be retained within the UTXO, within the transaction chain, so that it can be like unlimited parallelized EVM on top of on top of Cat protocol. Right? In EVM we have global state, right? It is EVM is not a global computer, it's called global calculator, because it relies on the slowest machine in their environment. But if we can have more competence on top of Cat protocol, right? In parallel, a lot of applications, they will not interfere with each other. They do their own calculation, and all their calculation can be enforced by miner. Right now, the best part here is we don't rely on any indexes. All those calculations are based on miner validation. So what's the difference between the checker and the indexer? Okay, you rely on a trusted third party that provides you your result of either the uncertainty or runs, right? The balances, all those things. Either you run your own indexer to check it, or you rely on trusted third party, and there's no way to validate it without running your own indexer. Okay? But since the token, the balance itself is enforced by contracts, by covenants, then you don't need any indexer to tell you, you just to see the value within the contract. And it can be zero confirmation, right? You don't need to wait for the block to confirm it. It is UTXO-based path in the transaction chain. And the checker only find the valid minter for the rest of the users trying to mint new token, right? That enable us to build true SPV on top of Bitcoin. Right. When I mention Bitcoin, right now it is fractal Bitcoin. The true SPV needs the user to be able to validate the token state in their own SIM card. They don't need to download the whole blockchain. So if a miner validated token, either fungible or non-fungible token, it is miner validated, then if the token has Merkle proof into a valid block header, then it can be accepted, right? But before Protocol, all our wallets infrastructure are all based on their own indexes, right? That creates a lot of scalability problem and privacy issue, because all the server runner, they all know all of your assets, right? They can track you. This is not good for the further expectation, because you don't want the wallet provider be the big boss to see what your application doing and how much you earn. They might enter the market to kill you if they find it profitable, right? But with the peer-to-peer nature of Bitcoin, then you can actually make the user to retain their privacy, because all the tokens can be exchanged from peer-to-peer, validated independently by the receiver itself. So I would say this is huge, and it opens up great potential ahead by building peer-to-peer exchange network for transactions, for PSBTs, right? Building facilities for domain names, IDs, a lot of things on top of that, without the compromising your privacy. Your privacy data is the most valuable one. There might be not any like airdrops or things of the previous designed airdrop patent. We seek those wallets that associated with multiple assets, then we airdrop them. No. We might create some new infrastructure on top of it. Like every transaction has new addresses. We don't treat the address like the account, right? It is all from EVM. In Bitcoin, never reuse your private key. Never reuse your private key. It's very important. Then you can retain your privacy. Okay, so that I'm talking about the SPV nature, tracker, and the tracker difference and the indexer. Okay. The next I will say in the not in the near future, maybe in the midterm or the long term. Okay. Users and developers can be interoperable with each other, because it is all about the contract hash, right? All the controlship are dedicated to contract to contract hash. Those contract hash can be controlled either by private key or other contract. It can be put your assets under some conditional unlocking script. Then those scripts can be unlocked by either private key from the user or by other contracts. Okay, that is the possibility. So look back at what we are currently now. Cap protocol only activated on top of Protocol Bitcoin, and maybe there will be more blockchain. Once they see the possibility, they will start to enable Cap. Right. With that, we might have different playgrounds to test, and all those infrastructure, they will compete, trying to be the best performance. That's very good for the whole ecosystem. Maybe later, the BTC will trying to enable OCAT, otherwise it will be like outcasted. I would take that good example as Litecoin and Doge. Previously, Doge is merged mining, right? Doge is merged mining with Litecoin. It is mining Litecoin and get bonus free Doge. Right now, when Doge get much more traction, then we can get mining Doge and you get free Litecoin, right? So it might happen on top of BTC and Protocol Bitcoin. If we have very good traction, if all the transactions are running on top of Fractal, and Fractal can get a lot of fees, more fees, right, than BTC. Why not? If the fees is the main income factor later, why not?
So what you're saying is bullish on Fractal?
No, I would not say bullish on anything, right? I'm bullish on Cap protocol. Cap protocol is important, that enable all of it. No, maybe not Fractal, right? Fractal may not survive in a. But anyway, thanks for Fractal, right? We have all this, right? But it is we cannot ignore the possibility that, we cannot ignore the possibility that some other coin, maybe Fractal Bitcoin, maybe other coin, that best fits the user's needs, best fits the developers. Then it becomes mainstream, everyone wants to use that, right? And if it gets a lot of fees, then it gets a lot of income and traction. The fees are so huge that pass the income from BTC mining. That is possible, right? We create more applications. This is not raise the cost for the user. The end user might not pay more in their transaction, but the huge amount, the huge volume of the transaction can help Fractal or other blockchain. So I'm a little conservative to become the dominant blockchain over the world, right? Okay, so that's my introduction right now. And the more technical side, so welcome to the creator of sCrypt platform, Xiaohui, to give all of you a great talk ahead. Thank you.
So next up is the creator and founder of sCrypt, the programming language team, who's been at he's the front runner of like smart contracts on Bitcoin. So he may give us some insights into how Cap protocol would enable like the new possibilities on Bitcoin, fractal Bitcoin in general. All right, thank you for take it away, Xiaohui. Jim. Who has some cast? Woo. Okay. Who has cast? Okay, so I mean, if you have no cast, you can hear now. Anyway, don't worry, we have dropped some by the end of the day. Okay, thank you. Have some good questions. Okay. So thanks for coming this morning, and really overwhelmed by we just put it out I think last night. This like Meetup, very short notice. So really glad that you guys all, so many of you are showed up. So for me, we're Xiaohui, I'm founder of sCrypt. So sCrypt, if you have not heard of it, just how many have heard this term before? This word? You don't have to know what it is. Okay, cool. Okay, pioneers. So for people who have not heard about it, so think about it is, you on Ethereum world, right? You have let's say Solidity, right? So we are pretty much the major product of ours. We call it sCrypt language. So you can think about it as the Solidity for all the Bitcoin related chains. For example, BTC, Bitcoin SV, and now Fractal as well. And recently we have put a lot of efforts to migrate and support Fractal because it is the only layer 2 I know of as BTC layer 2 that has this OpCap in the middle. Okay. OpCap. Anybody heard about OpCap? OpCap? OpCap. Everybody heard about OpCap. Okay. So for people not have been living under a rock, so OpCap basically is you can think about the Bitcoin when it first shipped, it has a so-called virtual machine. Okay? People always talk about Ethereum virtual machine, right? EVM, but a lot of people they don't know, including let's say old Bitcoiners. There's a VM also in Bitcoin as well. It's not something that people added up later on. It's actually when Satoshi first released in 0.1 version 0.1, it already has a virtual machine out there. The only slight problem is in 2010 for various reasons. I think mostly for security reasons. And Satoshi decided to disable some of the opcodes. So opcodes is the instruction sets for Bitcoin VM. So for example, the most notable one is just opcap, because the security concern has been, disabled. And since I think late last year or early this year, there's a lot of discussion in the BTC community. Hey, maybe it's a good idea to, sort of re-enable or reactivate some of the opcodes. Most notably OpCap. So you probably see a lot of PFPs on Twitter. People have some quantum cast or Taproot wizards. They have been parties pushing this narrative. Say, hey, maybe we should add back some of this opcode because why do we want to add them back? Because right now even though I would argue BTC mainnet has some kind of like a smart contract capability. For example, you can do multi-sig, right? You can do like a hash lock or even time lock, but it's very limited. But the surprising fact is, after we've done quite a lot of research, so as long as you enable OpCap, this single one, I mean that maybe like a couple others or 10 other opcodes like a mount of multiplication and something and such things. But if you only enable OpCap, it will literally turn the probability of Bitcoin from so-called Turing incomplete pretty much like unlimited, so Turing complete. So anybody heard about Turing complete, this term? What does it mean, anyone? You got a cast, if you answer the question, okay, always remember, you got a cast, okay?
You can create if I'm not wrong, I think you can create another Turing complete, like you can create it itself in it. It's like step by step. And then in one step you can create something that creates multiple steps. So it's a computation type of theory, I would say. And yeah. So when it's applied to contracts, scripts, so it means that you can have these complex logics, right? And am I right or not?
Yeah, I think definitely on the right direction. Okay. Yeah, it's basically, I think you are describing more of the implementation detail, which we call the so-called recursive coupling. Okay. So basically, you are doing a series of transactions.
How many cards? Oh, I don't know your answer if it is.
I think one.
No.
Five.
I need more.
You need more. How many you want?
Sufficient that makes my life good. Yeah.
So you need one. Only one.
So actually, it will enable to identify any data manipulation on the system, right?
Yeah.
So it itself can actually identify any sort of data manipulation that actually happens.
Exactly. So yeah,
for people not heard about this, so we are trying to talk about what's Turing complete. So in layman's term, basically think about any smart contract that you can run on, let's say Ethereum or Solana, with this slide chain addition, only addition of CAD, you can now do Bitcoin. Okay, that's it. We don't need any 10 other opcodes or 0 knowledge proof. That's it. That's the only opcode we need, and we're really lucky. Fractal just add this new opcode, and that enables us, don't have to wait. I don't know, maybe 1 year or maybe I don't know. Who knows? Anybody have a guess like when opcode is going to enable BTC?
18 months.
18 months? Okay. That's a good one. Okay, yeah, that's I think that's probably right. So I think here's the thing, it's not fixed, right? Because all of us here, we have this almost like mission, right? So because we want to see if Fractal has this opcode, and then as a result, there's a lot of new type of things that can be created. That's was previously impossible on BTC, right? That just give a lot of reasons. I think good arguments, the data points, big. Maybe you should add this sooner rather than later on BTC as well, right? For example, well, the topic of today here, we're talking about this so-called CAT project. Okay, so this is something that's only available on Fractal but not on BTC today, because uniquely it needs this opcode enabled. You cannot do it without it. On Fractal, you have a lot of other so-called I would call it legacy token protocols. You have Certainty, you have runes, you have atomicals.
I actually want to.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah. So if you have all those so-called legacy tokens, I think this is something that's only available on Fractal, because all this, I think you probably know, they can also run on Fractal without any change. Okay. But this thing is among all the token protocols, this is the only one. I think the unique one that can only run on Fractal. It cannot run on BTC because it needs this opcode enabled. And we're very fortunate to see some kind of let's say very historical moment. I think the second day is I think September 10th. This is barely a week ago, and we have seen people release OpCat enabled CAT projects, especially CAT20 fungible tokens on Fractal. And then I kind of say that the rest is almost like history. I think how many guys mint from Command Line? Anyone mint from Command Line? Okay. Congrats. You are the new elite, I think. No, just kidding. So for people who have not heard about this, CAT protocol, basically it's a new token protocol that's released on the second day that Fractal launches, and it has been, I think it's super viral. It has been crazy viral. I think, if I remember correctly, that's like 42,000 unique holders, and it literally takes 3 days non-stop. All the Fractal blocks are full. All of them are the meeting caps, and the fees went from practically 0 to like I don't know. I think 8,000. That's maybe 8,000. Yes, that's per byte. Per byte.
So far the ever high that I've seen is 62 million.
Say it again.
So the ever high that I've seen is 62 million.
62,000? 62 million. Exactly.
So that was on the 21,000.
Okay. Yeah, that's. I think
That's clear.
BRC timing. Yeah. Okay. So short story is that's been crazy. It just came out of nowhere. I think almost nobody expected it, and then it just went viral. I think just with a lot of for reasons I still not certain. I think the people I don't know the DJs, whatever reasons they just like that shit. Even after block 21,000, people still stay with this CAT protocol. They are minting. I think yesterday or a couple days ago there was like a Fractal bull. I think people are minting, and then you have Trump coin, you have Paris coin, all kinds of coins. I think last time I checked, if you go to Unisat, there's a column just Explorer only for CAT20, and you can see that people are still minting and deploy every single day. I think now it's at least 10,000 you deploy the tickers or symbols. You can see. Short story is being crazy. this password. And this, because there's some unique features. People ask, hey, why we already have token market, why do we need something new? Because I think Jimmy also briefly mentioned in his previous talk, because some have some unique features. The most important feature is so-called is minor validated instead of all the other tokens, BTC today, this is so-called index validated. So basically meaning all of the not only the data, for example, the ordinals, right? The data is on the Bitcoin blockchain, the FDs, all the transfer inscriptions, they are on chain, but all the logic, the rule set, how do you mint, how do you transfer, all those are sort of running off chain as some indexes, meaning some, you have to trust somebody server, okay? But here, this is the only one I know that sort of is verified by the layer 1 smart contract, by the miners, okay? So that means there's a lot of other implications, okay? For example, if you, let's say when you, how many people here have ever minted some BRC20 and you lost your money but you didn't get your ticket, your token? Okay, anyone? Okay. So how many of you has minted, let's say, cat token, but you lose your money but didn't get any mints? Okay, it's 0. That's not by coincidence because it's validated by miners. That means this transaction is atomic, meaning if you pay, you are guaranteed by miners you get your mints. Okay, so if you don't pay, so let's say you are late and you participate in some kind of like an open beam, but eventually you didn't get mined into the box. Don't worry, you don't lose your money as in BRC20 or Lunas. Okay, you pretty much get a refund because you lost the race to get some inter-index service. Okay. So that's number one rule, for users. The second thing is you don't overmint, but also how many of you have here has ever by using some wallet and then accidentally or even intentionally by some, I don't know, scamming website, you have got your own, let's say, ordinals or BRC20 or runes accidentally burned. Anyone? Okay, it's positive. Okay, so that's also not by accident. Okay. Because it's not validated by miners. So when you actually broadcast the transaction, the miners, they don't know, right? The miners don't know, hey, this UTXO has some ordinals on it, or BRC20, or runes. It doesn't know because it's not so-called miner validated. But versus in CAD, everything is validated by miners. So actually the miners understand, hey, this is actually something, other than native Satoshi. So they are the guardians of your CAS, okay, your tokens. You can, even you really try really hard to try to burn it, it's actually very difficult. Even you try hard. So that means you're super secure. It doesn't matter like what wallet you use or or what kind of tracker you use. It's almost impossible to accidentally burn it. Okay? And that's the number two. I think you can get a very, even for so-called regions, you can literally feel it's actually secure. Okay, because of the technology behind it. The third, I think a lot of people, I think it's coming very, very soon. So if you remember, one of the biggest pain point, when you're trading, let's say, Satoshi or runes, right? You have to trade in wholesale, pretty much. You have to precisely order in the exact amount the other party is going to take. For example, you want to sell, I don't know, 100 runes, DOT, for example. If the other party only wants to take 50, that's no deal, right? But it's very hard to exactly match because, like the model market, you want to do sort of partial fill. I think because of the cap again is validated by miners. So when you actually trade, I think it's coming up very soon. I think multiple teams I know of, they are working on this solution. So basically, you can have on-chain order book, but instead you have to sell the full deal. You can take only partial. Let's say you want to sell 100 cash, and the other party only want to take 30. Okay, no problem. The remaining 70 is to go to another so-called contract and just keep being listed until all the tokens are sold, or if the seller wants to cancel the order. But you sell it, you post the order, and you forget about it. It's not like so-called legacy tokens. You don't worry about it. Okay. So that also helps a lot increase the market efficiency and liquidity. Okay. This is go ahead.
So in terms of like the order book that you're saying, like, you know, if there's 100 sell, someone takes 30, there's 70 left. Can someone take the last 70 in the same block that the 30 goes?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so this is called change transactions. So if you know, well, everything here is based on UTXOs. So you can, let's say the first one takes 30, the second one takes, instead of 70, he can only take 10, and then you have 60 remaining. The other guy can take the rest 60. So even if you have 3 transactions, you can all chain them together, as long as they can still fit in the block. They can go in the same block, or maybe it's full, they can go to the next block. Okay. So you can chain actually up to 25. If you know that's the that's the unconfirmed chain limit of 25. Even that can be increased by some if you broadcast to the miners directly. So short answer, yes, you can chain it. You can have multiple cells or orders chain all together.
So
even
wouldn't
the same block.
that kind of create a need for like a private mempool set? Because then you could have a miner saying, hey, like I'll do more than 25 in a private mempool. Would that be possible?
Yeah, definitely possible. I think if such trading activity, people demand a lot of, let's say, high frequency trading. I think that's where the miner is going to do, because
then you have more revenue coming through your private mempool.
Yeah, it's almost the same with the BTC. Some miners already have taken private deals. I think Macron, they have an order slipstream. You can sort of broadcast non-standard transactions through the portal. I think I don't know, any miners, backup miners here? Yeah, that's definitely something you can check out. Yeah, I would also expect to show up. There's a lot of trading activity people are interested in. So I just talked about 3 just very simple cases. Even degens, without understand any of the technology behind it, because it's the so-called miner validated. They just immediately you can see a lot of let's say from the user experience, you can see the real effect of why I want to use sort of cat algorithm instead of some legacy algorithms. Because it's actually the users they can experience the benefit. It's not about ideology or some personal preference. This is all like objective advantage or experience improvement you can gain by using the cat models.
So just going back to my last question, you mentioned like chain transactions. So let's just say we reach like the 25 transactions, and someone in the middle cancels their transaction for any reason, or the transaction fails, or what happens to the remaining chain transactions?
Yeah, I think it will pretty much cancel all the so-called dependent transactions. It's like you are trying to snipe somebody else's order, right? You post it there, and somebody says that they want to front run you. He can front run you by paying high fees, and then all the dependent, let's say the child or grandchildren, they will also be sniped.
So how can we solve this problem in that case from like a UX perspective? Is there a solution to that, much like we have protected transactions coming out from Magic Eden on the LLM?
I think it's almost the same with the BTC mainnet. If you have, I think you can alleviate it by someone. I think, for example, right, you can say, hey, I disable, I don't open the RBF, because the only reason it happens is because RBF. So I think some miners, they say, hey, if not opt-in, you cannot do RBF, even if you have a higher fees. So I think there's some ways you can say, hey, I don't allow RBF, but I'm going to send in the transaction. And then hopefully you broadcast to some miners which don't have full RBF. I think that's just one way you can alleviate that problem. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I see. So
it's like
if we had RBF set off, then this problem would be non-existent, or?
Depends. Because the node has 2 modes. You can either have full RBF, meaning doesn't matter whether you will disregard this flag. Even you turn it off, the RBF off at the transaction level, the miner is still going to RBF the later transaction higher fees. Well, you can also choose to, broadcast to some miner nodes that have this off, so it would respect the transaction level. So, yeah, but short story, it will be the same as BTC mainnet. But the good thing here, you only have 30 seconds if you try to RBF. So I think I'm not sure you can totally eliminate that risk, but at least you can. It's better than mainnet.
Yeah.
So you only have 30 seconds to start something.
I know like Magic even structuring the transactions like a hybrid custodial root perspective. Like if on the L1 we could do something like that with these chain transactions for the CAP protocol, would that solve?
Yeah, that's another interesting idea. Basically, instead of anybody can, let's say, take the UTXO, you put some kind of limitation, let's say, constraint, like who, maybe you can require some kind of like a signature, for example, operator. Then, without permission, that is not, let's say, fully open mean, for example, right? You can say, hey, it's permissioning, only you have, I don't know, maybe you have CAP tokens, you are allowed to call this UTXO. Yeah, that's another idea. Yeah, basically that you have a lot of options because thankfully to shorter blocks and also for all CAP, because now you have more logic to inside to dictate who can actually change the transaction. So that can limit, I think, people who can actually sign it. Yeah, I think short story is just because of the CAP and short blocks, now you have more options at your side. How do you, let's say, alleviate this problem? Or maybe even, I don't know. Some people have this idea of like zero conf bomb. I don't know if you heard about it. It's also another idea. So basic idea is if you double stamp, you will reveal a private key. So they can take your like a slash key. So that's another good use case of OCAP. So if you have not heard about it, just search zero conf bomb for double stamp prevention. That's another way to alleviate this one. But yes, very great question. Anyone else? All right, yeah, let's keep rolling. I think I talked about
maybe Yishan's going to speak a bit more about the details of how.
Okay.
Or you can go if you want to.
You want to go? Yeah, I think I just talked about some high-level ideas. I think I'll give to my CEO. He's going to talk about more like technical details. All right, thank you guys. Just coming. Okay, we got class. We got class, okay? Okay, let me know. Okay, afterwards, give me your address, okay? Okay. Serious, it's great, okay?
Okay. Hi everyone. I'm here from sCrypt. I'm the CEO of sCrypt. So just our CEO Xiaohui tell us about the big pictures and some high-level theories about the CAT protocols. So I think I would like to explain to you for more detailed version or more technical details about the CAT protocol and the sCrypt. So here I would like to use this example from the CAT20 minting process to explain to you how sCrypt works and how these transactions are connected to each other to achieve the goal. So basically, you can see, for example, we have these three transactions here, and the left side is inputs, and the right side are outputs. So, for example, we have this review transaction, mint transaction, and another mint transaction here. So, for example, the first mint transaction, its input is a minter UTXO. So,
and it spent previously minter UTXO and to create this mint transaction. Also, after this mint, we can also have another mint transaction to spend the minter UTXO created in this transaction and to create another token. So you can see for each mint transaction, they can create a minter UTXO and also a token UTXO. So this token UTXO goes to the address of the owners, and they also create this minter UTXO for the other one to mint nextly. So that's the process of this minting process. So what does it related to the sCrypt? So sCrypt is a high-level smart contract language. So you can write sCrypt smart contract with TypeScript. So it's basically very much like a JavaScript language. So we have this compiler. We build this compiler. We can transform this sCrypt high-level language into a low-level Bitcoin virtual machine script, which is called Bitcoin script. It's just like Xiaohui said before. It's a lot of very low-level opcodes for the BTC network and also for the fractal network. So you can see each of this input, output, the UTXO, So this UTXO, for example, is a minter UTXO. So what you can see in this transaction, you can only see when you look into this output, you can see only this minter. You can only see its address, right? You can't see what's inside or how to unlock it. For example, this one stands for a traditional or just a normal UTXO, which can be signed with user's private key to sign it, unlock it. It's for example, it's a P2PH or P2WPH or something like that. So user can use their signature to unlock this UTXO to spend it, right? But for example, for the minter UTXO, you can't just use your private key to sign this transaction or to sign this input and unlock it. It does not work. Why it does not work is because for this minter UTXO, it has some script inside it. So if you want to unlock this, to use it as an input in this transaction, you need to build the whole unlocking script for this minter. So here, if you want to spend it, you need to build the whole unlocking script, which means you have to give it the right parameters to build the, so we call it as, in Bitcoin, it's called a separate witness parameters. So you have to not only use the signature to unlock this minter. So what sCrypt transforms the script, what sCrypt contract compiles into a script, it lives in this minter's locking script. So it's a very complicated series of a script, and also if you have the correct parameters here, and they can be connected to a full script. This full script is valid by miner to before it mines this transaction into the block. So that's the whole technique details for how sCrypt and Bitcoin script works in this in process. So just like Xiaohui said, you cannot accidentally spend this UTXO because you can't just give it a signature and a public key. For example, to unlock this UTXO, you can't. You have to build the exactly unlocking script for this UTXO. So this, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm trying to make it easier to understand for those who are not as technical. So when you say spend the UTXO, what do you mean? Is it in my wallet or is it out there in the main pool? I'm just trying to solve like a problem. So can you explain in faster?
Oh, okay, good question. So when I say spend UTXO means, for example, for the traditional UTXOs, it's owned by your private key, right? It has its address, it has its public key, which is correspond to your private key. When you spend UTXO, you need to sign. You need to sign the transaction, and with your private key, you can get a signature. Also, for this UTXO, when you spend this UTXO means if you want to use this UTXO, but the difference is for this minter UTXO, it does not belong to anyone. It does not belong to any specific private key. It belongs to the contract. It belongs to the contract script. Belongs to the Bitcoin script, which can control it. So if you want to spend, anyone can spend it. So it does not belong to any other address. It belongs to this contract. It belongs to this logics to enforce it. So you want to spend it, anyone can spend it, if and only if they can give the right unlocking script. That's the whole point.
And what do they get when they solve this puzzle?
Oh, it's just not like a puzzle, but when they, for example, if you want to mint this token, right? You have to give the right parameters here, and you would like to build this post transaction, and which here in the output you can give your address here, like for example, like the token receiver address here, and then follow the protocol, because the protocol requires you, if you want to mint a token, you also need to, if available, you also have to create a next minter for other one to use. Because if you just use this one and no minters, and the process will end. If the amount not reach the maximum, so it will be no more minters for others to use. So you have to follow the protocol. So if the minter has a remaining supplies greater than the limit, so you have to create this minter UTXO for others to use as well. So what you do is just to create this transaction and use your address here to receive token and create a next minter UTXOs for other one to use. So and you broadcast this transaction to the miners. When it's mining block, and you are secured with your token. So that's the whole process. Okay, so I hope I explained it clearly. So, any question?
Can I think of it as, for each transaction, can I think of it as like a new smart contract in employee? And also, I wonder how the transaction hash and the serial number like is tracked for each mint.
Okay, let me get your questions. So the question is, if you want to know each mint does each mint deploy another contract, right? And the second one is,
So like how like sort of a pointer, like how do like the new minter knows where like which output to use it to spend it as an input.
okay. So the next question is how the next minters knows how which minter you should. For example, if you want to mint in this transactions, how do you know where's the minter in this transaction, right? That's the question. Okay. So first, basically, there are only one smart contract, or we can call it governance or something like that. It's a minter contract. We call it a minter contract. It's all the same. In this whole process, the minter contract only have one minter contract and only have one compiled Bitcoin script in this whole process. So each you can try to understand it this way. The minter contract is just like a class. It's just like a template. Whenever you create a minter UTXO, you pass in some parameters as its constructor parameters. For example, here you can pass in the mint how much amount it remains, because you mint, for example, for this minter, it can have, for example, like a 100 amount remain, and each one you mint, for example, you can mint 10, all right? So for this transaction, this minter has 100 remains, and if you can mint 10, so this one only have 90 remain. So they are the same minter, but they have different construction parameters. Or we can call they are two different instances. So they have two different parameters. So this one is 19, and if you continue to mint, and this one becomes 80. So the states on the minters can be changed, and according to your rule. And so the state from 100 to 90 to 80 and blah 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 blah. And when it reaches 0, you can't create this minter. It can be enforced in a smart contract, right?
So the minter is carrying the octet core.
Yes, the minter can carry this whole logic with it, and the minter can have these parameters, or more accurately, it can have this state, and the state change is enforced by the smart contract. You can, for example, you can have 100 here, and for example, you have 10 tokens here, and you want to change to 16 or 15 or 0. It can be done because it's enforced by the smart contract. The logic cannot allow you to change the minter's parameters state as you wish. So that's the whole point. Okay.
So are there like whole same script with different states inside?
Yes, you can think of this. There's the same smart contract, but they have different states. Yeah. Okay. Any other question?
Well, I have a question. All Cat 20 access depend on your smart contract. The smart contract is your team developed it.
We are also very curious about this. So they use our sCrypt smart contract language to develop the smart contracts, but we still, I would say it's still unknown for who built this. But since we have developed this smart contract language for almost 4 or 5 years, so there are a lot of people might be familiar with this because previously we have built smart contracts, and also a lot of teams have built real production in production smart contracts, working on, for example, like BSV chain. So there are a lot of people who can build this, and what we can be sure is we look at this protocol and we find it to use our tool very effectively, and yeah, that's how I can tell. Yeah. I think it explained all. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe. Guys, I talked to a lot of you guys during the week about Cat 20 and about coming today to kind of learn the basics. So this has been kind of, we had a high level overview and then a bit of a more technical overview. So I know a lot of you guys are very, very interested in building. So, you know, there's a couple of things that you're going to have to understand in terms of, like, you know, this isn't EVM, this isn't account-based system, you know, this is UTXO-based, you know, it's Bitcoin. So even at the very fundamental base there, this works differently. So while we're calling these things smart contracts, you know, it's not going to be the same as writing a smart contract in Ethereum. You know, you gotta completely change how you think about things. So, you know, when you guys leave here, you know, a couple of things that you want to try to understand is, like, you know, how does Opcat create covenants? What is a covenant? You know, understanding locking and unlocking scripts. You know, and you know, obviously on Bitcoin main, you know, you unlock your UTXO by signing the private key or by presenting the private key. Because with Opcat enabled, you much more possibilities in how you unlock the locking scripts, you know, and much more conditions you can attach to a locking script. So, you know, they're the type of things that you guys want to understand. So, a lot of you guys have my contact details.
For those of you guys who don't have my contact details, I want to keep this line of communication open. You know, we can help you guys start building here and start understanding. So we encourage you to ask us questions. You know, and we will be able to help you kind of get started, because we obviously want to grow the ecosystem. We want to get builders involved. We want to help you guys. So for any of you guys who don't have my contact details, please talk to me at the end here. We'll make sure, as I said, to keep the conversation flowing. It's important you start to learn sCrypt. Unless you're very good at coding, you know, bytecode level Bitcoin script, it means you're probably going to have to use sCrypt. You know, sCrypt takes TypeScript and compiles it into Bitcoin script, you know. So when you guys go home and you want to get started, you know, as I said, the first couple things, try to learn about covenants, try to learn about recursive covenants. There's a couple of other interesting things as well. The fact you can store states in these UTXO chains, you know, is also quite interesting. And as Lin had said previously, in Ethereum, you have it's one global state machine. So, you know, every time you have an Ethereum transaction, you have a state transition, and, you know, the whole state across the whole blockchain changes with every transaction. Whereas what's very unique about this Bitcoin style is that each UTXO chain itself can store states. So you can have multiple different states, like a parallel, you know, series of states. Rather than having one kind of global state or one universal state, you can have a multiverse of states. You know, so these are all kind of things that conceptually are actually different to what you might have seen before with smart contracts on Ethereum. So as I said, we're encouraging a lot of you guys to just to build, come in and join us, experiment with Opcat on Fractal, and just encourage your developer friends to come along and learn. We have all the resources that you guys need to get started. So I said, if you don't have my contact details, please talk to me again, and we'll make sure to regularly keep you guys updated, and you can keep firing questions, and we'll try to get them answered as quickly as possible to help bootstrap this ecosystem and get started. Just start experimenting. Come along and just start experimenting. That's what we encourage, because this is exciting stuff, and it is a real technical innovation. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of finish with that.
Thank you, Stephen. So Jack Liu is going to talk next.
Wow.
Hey everyone, thanks for coming. I was just here to record, so I don't know why I'm here now. But I think as a non-developer, I'm not here telling you what you should code and how Opcat works. I just will take a wild guess at sort of what I think will happen in the next following months and years. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. But essentially, I've been in the industry for about 10, 11 years, started at OKCoin, Kraken, Circle, built that first wave of centralized companies. And then I've always been a Bitcoiner. That took me through the different series of Bitcoins, like BTC, BTCH, BSV. And then last year, obviously, came to Ordinals, which many of you guys know my station there. I think what Casey, to give you a high level, what he set off was the idea of leveraging Taproot op return to put data on the blockchain. And many people have put different kinds of data, whether it was beginning with JPEGs, moving on to ID names like .sats, and then Domo took that .sats as inspiration to kind of put a little bit more of the JSON to create BRC20s. And the cat launch reminds me of that launch in the sense that in the beginning, you don't know what is the big deal. And then Unisat really, by running an indexer around BRC20s, was able to show that you can transfer them and trade them, etc. But if you notice what I just said, is that a company observing the blockchain is able to support the data that was planted on the blockchain through the Ordinals protocol to replicate or simulate the idea of running a stock market on the blockchain or things like that. What CAT protocol has done, leveraging Opcat, is allows the miners of the chain, in this case the fractal miners, to be the operators of the exchange, the stock market. What this means is not OKX, Binance, Gate.io all working with Unisat to see, is your indexer correct? It's not asking, a consortium of Domo and Unisat and whoever to say, let's make some changes to the way that the indexer logic runs. So if the miners are going to be the indexers, this is much bigger deal. You should not think about it backwards, you should think about it forwards. So the backwards way to think about it is, okay, I can now run BRC20s without an indexer. The forward way to think about it is, if the miners can do this, what else can I get the miners to do? Right? So similar to AI, you're not asking AI, hey, now I can have you teach me how to code. Hey, how do I write this? AI teach you how to write this. It's, if the AI can code, you can just tell AI what to code. You don't even need to use AI to learn how to code. So imagine you can ask the Bitcoin miners to basically become your AWS, become the everything for your company. So as going back to our narrative, went through a phase of centralized exchanges, which still exists. I think Token 2049 is sponsored by OKX, right? But they've now moved into decentralized exchanges and decentralized apps. That was like the last 5-6 years in our industry with like Uniswap, Aave, GMX, all this kind of stuff. But I think we could, this is me just taking a shot in the dark, we could move into the next phase, which is like, instead of sexes and dexes, we can have mexes, right? So minor exchanges. That is fundamentally different, and it will make dexes seem very boomer, right? Because the reason why all of crypto is investing in meme stocks and meme coins is because they don't want to deal with waiting for a single party team to build this app and say the roadmap is Q4 and Q1 and I raised this money from this VC and we're gonna launch this exchange and we're gonna dump it on you here. The returns are not good. It doesn't seem fair. So then people like the fair launches, which that's another key, is that Ordinals was not about bringing NFTs from Ethereum to Bitcoin. The analogy is like, okay, there's Uber, there's Amazon, and now we brought Alibaba to China, or we brought Didi to China. Ordinals actually was a bottom-up thing. It wasn't like the same Frank Degas can just come to BTC and launch a collection. It was every one of us can inscribe the Bitcoin frogs and together form this collection. And that's what gave it that push. That's what makes Pumped Up Fun on Solana is part of the same trend. It's like we as a user can create these meme coins. But miner validation is the thing that unlocks a return from memes to utility. It's not memes are hype, it went down 99%, let's go buy this other coin that's still a VC funded coin that's still like 99% pre-mined, etc. It's now that if you can have miners do your logic, you don't have a centralized team creating your decentralized app. Right? So all Uniswap can do is show me that they can't rug me. Okay, great, I'm really happy about that. Right? 5 years ago, you told me about that, I think it's a breakthrough because I don't want to be rugged by Mt. Gox, I don't want to be rugged by FTX, I don't want to be in the future worried about being rugged by any number of these current exchanges, right? But then I still need to wait for the Uniswap team to make their product and make Uniswap V1 and V2 and V3. If I have AI, I cannot contribute code to any of these companies. They have a centralized person that approves code updates, which means the progress of these apps, while it is faster than building a centralized exchange that has to operate, KYC, banking, and all that kind of stuff, you are still running your company, but only then later not running the users. But a miner validated system, I don't know anything about code, but based on what I see right now and why things on CAT are being built so quickly, is that anyone can just directly use the miners as your co-founder, right? Your miners are your infrastructure system. And so go into that when these guys talk about conditional scripts and locking, in my work last year, we built Hot Locker, which was like a Twitter-like platform where instead of liking posts, you lock coins for a little bit of time to kind of take away your spending power for like a week, for like 2 weeks, whatever it is, to show that you genuinely actually care about these posts, so you can rank social media content. That was a very basic thing, which you just lock and unlock to yourself. But what if you could conditionally lock coins, like cap coins or whatever it is, and it says, if the difficulty of the chain hits here versus hits here, the coins would go to this party or that party or that party. Well, then you can make spot exchanges, derivative exchanges, perpetual swaps, AMMs, every single thing by miner logic. And that means as a builder, you don't have to build a website. You don't have to build the app. what you're really doing is a separation of the idea guy and the builder. Because right now, the idea guy needs to either build it himself or find a team to help him build the product that then launches, that then might be decentralized. But now, you can just write a Git book. You write a Git book of how a perpetual swap protocol should work. You can write a Git book of how you would mint a stablecoin and redeem a stablecoin. And this is the rules logic. And then you could have a token that is also powered by sCrypt that says based on who made a loan, who made open position, who has open position open, give this token automatically to those people. Writing that Git book, putting it out there, and you will see potentially the exact same race that just happened to mint CAT, but it becomes a race to open perpetual swap positions. It becomes a race to trade on an AMM. And it could be command level again. And on that point, obviously I don't have unlimited money to open unlimited perpetual swap positions. I might then become a builder of one of the first interfaces to the perpetual swaps run by miners. That is a complete inversion of the way crypto works. And if you think about what takes Bitcoin and the crypto ecosystem from 3 trillion to 30 trillion, you can keep on showing to grandmas who are buying ETFs on BlackRock, okay? That's not the way, right? You can't take a technology that's 24/7 and be like, just go buy this thing that's 9 to 5, close the holidays, there's some dumb money here, institutions, $100 trillion here. Always look at the future. The value that can be created by humanity is always more in the future than the value that's already created in the past. So digging through institutional whales, central banks, these people are actually broke. They're very broke compared to the imagination that people have. So if our imagination can turn into programs using miners, that is the big unlock. So I think that it's not about UTXO chains versus like account chains. It's not about Bitcoin versus Ethereum. At this point in time, any UTXO chain that does not have OpCat should be put into a separate category. I think we're now talking about OpCat chains. So then we're going to have a whole bunch of chains come out. Fracto maybe the first. I think actually ECH has it. I think other chains have it. But there will be a series of chains that come out that will enable OpCat and maybe a couple other opcos as differentiation. And then every developer, like you know how there's like 100x developers? I think miner validated protocols are essentially the 100x developers to even a decentralized app developer. So that's just my wild guess, and I think development will proceed very rapidly, and thanks for coming out.
Guys, ask a question.
Yeah.
So let's say you now have, let's say almost like a perpetual swap product, and you just try to keep people and release it, almost like party or hack. But then you launch a token, right? But then how do you make sure other people who building the actual code use your token because he likes his own token? Because if he likes his own token, then you're out of the game, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Well, there were probably other tokens that minted out before the CAT token minted out too, right? Because CAT took 3 to 4 days. If someone deployed another coin that only took like 10 blocks, 20 blocks to mint out, they minted out too. But people want the first token, right? So everything about liquidity. So if you release a Git book saying this is how you open a long per position, open a short per position, this is how you cancel an order, this is how you fill the order, and there's a token attached to, pro rata airdropping the token to whoever has open positions based on the size of your open position. Then once you release that on a Twitter account with no followers or whatever, I, as an observer, have 2 choices, right? If I'm Charlie Lee, I have 2 choices. I can create Litecoin, or I can mine Bitcoin. I can buy Bitcoin. Like Hal Finney had this choice as well. At that point in time, there was no network effects on Bitcoin. He could have just run another Bitcoin. I think the market, what they would do is they would just rush to open as many positions on the perpetual swap as possible, so that the total TVL, whatever, total open, so it's called, what's the term called? I blanked out. No, not FTV, like open positions. Like open interest, yes. Open interest on the gift book that you release with a set of instructions on how to open positions will be higher than the open interest on something that people release the next day. So I think in the first day of you launching a description, a gift book of how perpetual swaps could work on a miner validated token set, you would have $10 million, $100 million of positions open. Because you can set the tokenomics where like the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days end up with 20, 30, 40% of the tokens, and then you have like whatever log decrease of the airdrop. So then once the positions are open, you've built your liquidity. All these exchanges, right? Binance versus Gate versus whoever, they throw parties, they sponsor F1, they do all this stuff because liquidity is king. So you could lock in a liquidity gain from the beginning just by being the first to come up with the instruction set of how to place orders with miners. So people here, if you want to take this to the next level, right, you can go make perpetual swaps. There's obviously details there, like you have to reference like some kind of like spot rate and things like that. Maybe what I'm saying is not possible, but this is where it's going. And then the token that is given to this protocol, maybe it's a meme coin, maybe you can bake in some fees into the protocol or something where it's like a BNB that kind of like gives you trading discounts if you hold this token. I don't know what the thing you're doing, but what I'm saying is miner validation is not about saving yourself an indexer. It's about, that's just the first part. You can build the entire crypto ecosystem logic, whether it's centralized exchange or decentralized exchanges, into a set of logic that the miners run. And then you would not even want to build the interfaces. You wouldn't even want to build the apps because there'll be 100 apps. Like what's the value right now in the CAP protocol? People, why are you guys here? You're here because there's a first token that is currently worth like $20 million. You're not here because you want to build the first ever page or the first ever minter. Because what Xiaohui Hero just showed you is you can make a minter in like 5 minutes, like 20 minutes. So that's not where the value proposition lies. What you need to understand is Bitcoin is the first business. You want to own a part of the Bitcoin business. And a fair launch model is the first people who uses the business are going to have the most coins. So you just want to have a little instruction set of how to use whatever business that you want to do. So what I would say is go look at a company in crypto that you like, that's very big, that people like. Don't come up with a new idea, just take that idea, break that thing down with the help of AI or some friends into a set of logic, like what is actually happening inside of Uniswap? What is actually happening inside of GMX? And can I teach Bitcoin miners to handle those things? And if I can, then I'll teach the world via a gift book, here's how you talk to Bitcoin miners in this kind of rule set. Create a token that rewards the people who uses that product, and you'll have liquidity. Once you have that liquidity, you'll have the apps afterwards. So it's a separation between the idea guy, builders, and users. People like meme coins because there's only idea guy and the users. There is no builders. I don't need to build anything. That's why this shit can just go like Moo Dang or some shit, just like this, okay? Or Trump coin and things like this. But the reason my builders are so hard, whether centralized or decentralized right now, is because I still have to go through an interview process. I have to, even if Xiaohui is the greatest developer ever, and tomorrow he says, I want to work for Uniswap, I want to work for GMX, he cannot. So a miner validated system is going to bring this term composability to a whole nother level. The current way composability works is I've made Aave, you've made Uniswap, then you've made this. Each of you takes 6 months to build your own things. After you built it, the result of your product, when the user uses it, is on chain. So maybe I can, collateralize this, stake this, get this type of composability. But what if the entire business logic of Aave, what if the entire business logic of GMX, business logic of Binance, that shit was composable? Because all that logic rests with miners, right? If that was the case, you're gonna see like an exponential increase in this ecosystem. So it's like op cap dominance is something you should look for. Like what percentage of this ecosystem worldwide, like all crypto, is running on this type of protocol? That's what I think. So yeah, if you look at it like I've had a lot of tough times in BSV where it's like, oh, it's a faster chain, you know, like just use it, it's faster, it's more scalable. That's what the Fractal team was pitching as well with, you know, we can migrate your BRC20s and your ruins, and it's faster, and it's cheaper. That is not what's taking off. What's taking off is something that only can happen on Fractal today, which is this upcat stuff. It gives developers a new frontier. It's not just about doing your BRC20 transactions cheaper. It's about all the things that you can build. So, you know, I would say that there's just so much you can do based on what I see. So yesterday we had an office visit with some of the people that were already speaking. We went over to the OKX offices, right? I used to work at OKX in that 2014, 2017 phase. And everyone's very excited, right? My story here is not about, you know, tomorrow cat tokens to be on OKX. That's not the story here. I don't know, nothing about that. I don't think that's gonna happen. That's not why I was there. But I was just there drinking water and watching these developers from OK interact with the sCrypt developers, with the DotSwap developers. And I know, you know, the company is a really well-run company, and they're working really hard to do whatever they are to learn this technology, right? That's cool. But I see, you know, it reminded me of when I was at the office like 7 to 8 years ago with a bunch of young people when I was younger, with a bunch of developers. At the time, when I was there, it was like, how do we make OKX great? How do we make OKCoin great? But part of me, just as a mentor, an older person watching these people in this meeting, I was texting a friend in the meeting. I said, why don't they just finish their job and do what they need to do for the OK company? But if they really think about what is being taught to them about this stuff, it's very technical, they should just run home and build their own OKX in a weekend. Like, they should just run home and do something. Because these developers, inside the current ecosystem, they need a PR team, they need an HR team, they need an office, they need all these kind of things to build a big stuff. But if Bitcoin is your big organization run by miners, you as a developer can just contribute like a piece of this whole pie, right? So that is the real awakening, is that someone's showing you that miner validation equals more efficient. It doesn't mean you run the same company and just lose the indexer. It means you can run totally different organizations where you're the self. You can interact with the whole world. So yeah, go home, figure out how to run perp swaps. And to give you guys a hint, like for stable coins, as you guys know, I'm behind the project BAMP and Athena. I realized that while Athena and BAMP are maybe 100 times more efficient to run as a business, because we don't have money in a bank account like Tether and USDC, that these two businesses are not enough. They're not enough to really take off. What do people actually want from a stable coin? They just want a shit coin that moves up and down like the dollar. That's all they want, right? They just want this to run like Doge, like Cat, like 40, like whatever. That's all they want. Just let this thing not move up and down. I'm good. I don't care that you don't have to have a bank account. You now run it on a perpetual swap on centralized exchanges. They don't want that. So right now, BAMP, you know, we work fast or slow, or people have complaints at how it works. Well, because even though we're not backed by banks, we're still backed ourselves by a set of perpetual swap positions that only we can put on, right? So you mint with us, you redeem with us, we put the positions on. But what you really want is, what if the perp positions were already open on chain, right? And everyone is able to open up perp positions. Well, then what happens is this. Here's how a perpetual swap position could, in theory, be open, right? For the degenerates that want to go 50x long or 50x short, what they could do is, I want to conditionally lock one fractal, or one cat, let's say one cat. And I like to go long 40 cats. And I could pay this much NUSD for this position. If someone likes that, they'll hit you. And then what the condition will say is, well, if you lose 2.5%, the trade goes against you, then the locked cats that you have as your collateral is gone. If the trade is going for you and you want to close your position, then you can take the gains and then you also get your collateral back. But then how you get a stable coin from this, once you have that, is you can say, I now have opened a delta neutral position where I'm short one cat and I have one cat here. let me lock up both my cat that I have in spot, and let me lock up my short cat position on chain. And because I've proven to be able to create a delta neutral position on chain, then I can mint a valid NUSD. Whereas if I just randomly right now say mint me a NUSD, that will not be miner validated. So the miner will only count those mints coming from a position of a locked kind of perpetual swap position. Then you can send and trade this NUSD as a stable coin on chain wherever you want, take it off chain if you want. But if you ever want to be able to close your perfect position, you have to go out in the market and get this amount of NUSD back. It could be the NUSD you minted you never touched, or you can buy it back in the market. Once you prove that you have brought the NUSD back, now your perpetual positions are unlocked. You guys see what I mean? In that world, anybody can mint NUSD. Because anyone can create a synthetic delta neutral position. So it's not just about Athena has done this or BAMF has done this. Then there'll be no more BAMF.fi website. You guys can make the BAMF.fi website, right? The BAMF token would just be airdropped to whoever has the earliest positions, the earliest mints of the stablecoin on chain. So that sounds retarded, right? In the sense that today there is no perpetual swaps. Maybe the first day that happens on perpetual swaps on chain, this open interest is like $10,000, $100,000, which means your stablecoin is maybe $5,000 issuance. But by building on the right stack, which I'm telling you right now is a Bitcoin validated stack, your shit, along with everyone else's shit, can just fly at a speed. It's worth it to develop electric cars. It doesn't matter that someone else is selling hybrid cars all day, Toyota Prius is winning awards and whatever, and Nissan Leaf and whatever else. You just gotta keep going. If you know from first principles that electric car is better, right? Like Elon Musk is not worried about Starlink doesn't have as much subscribers as China Mobile and whoever, you know? It's because once you hit that escape point, you can disrupt this entire ecosystem. So I hope you guys go out and do that. Thanks.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Jack. Oh my God, we're seeing innovation being made right in this room. All right. So next up, we also have a friend of ours, a partner, Cat Protocol. It's Walter from Safnect Wallet. Right. Take it away.
So it's around noon time, right? I will make my presentation very short. So just now I know that most of you have a CAT token. So how do you guys transfer the CAT token? So now there's no such a wallet in the market, right? You have to use a command line from the CAT project, right? So for myself, I give a brief introduction. My name is Walter Wang. I have been in the industry for 10 years, since 2014. I read a white paper from ETC. Then 2018, actually, I started a Web3 project for Public State, which is a decentralized Airbnb platform for international travelers. So I started to use Ethereum. Well, using the Ethereum to build a project is horrible. You know, the user experience is bad and the cost is high. So we spent like 2 years exploring this, deliver the decentralized Airbnb product. It failed. Somehow I start to know the BTC and fork BCH and BSB, and I know the team from sCrypt. So I start to learn technology, and I realized that in order to build something useful for the industry, we need to use the first principle idea. Now, even now, 10 years later, only like 3% of the population knows about Web3. So it's far from mature. It's still very early. It's in the infant stage of the industry compared with the internet, which has 5.5 billion users. So given such a situation, how do people come to the Web3 from Web2, from internet? I think wallet is a product that really matters. You see a lot of wallets in the market, right? I can name 100. Well, what if there's a wallet that is only takes 1 minute to set up, that is secure, that you fully own your wallet, not like half centralized or centralized wallet. What if the wallet can support new assets like fractal coin, Bitcoin, like cash? So that's where we are positioning ourselves. We are building the first safe and easy wallet, which uses Shamir secret sharing technology. It's not storing. You don't need to remember any seed phrase. You don't need to write it down 12 words, 24 words. No seed phrase. The seed phrase is generated at the beginning and split into 2 or 3 parts, stored in the NFC part we have. We use it for cold wallet. I know a lot of you don't want to use cold wallet because it's not that convenient. We have web version, web plugin wallet in the Google Chrome store. In that case, you will store the half of your wallet secret share into the laptop and another half into the Google Drive. And also, I would like to share that so actually we are the first one to currently support CAD token transfer right now. Just this morning. This is you know, in the past week is a holiday. Actually, our developers are working very hard. We make it work. Yeah. And now we are in the great testing now. So you can join our Telegram and submit your Gmail because we allow you to back up half of your secret share into your Gmail cloud drive, another half in your browser. It's working, and you can do it now. Yeah, join our Telegram, and we just sent out a Twitter this morning. So don't need to go to the command line and coding and deploy the other stuff. You can use our wallet. Yeah. So yeah, you can scan it and you can find us in the Twitter. And so far, all the questions are coming out. We are in the great scale testing now, which means it's still in the testing because it's a new asset. And we are very conscious about security, convenience, user experience. So we are not open to everyone, but only for the guests here. What is a Shamir secret sharing technology? Because I'm doing the postdoc in the cryptology, we know that when you do MPC, right, which is a very hot, popular technology in the industry, it takes a lot of computation. Well, as a consumer, you don't have so many computing power, right, run different nodes in Amazon, in Google, but you can divide your key share into a few parts. Right now, what we do, you can see the picture. Let me explain simply. It's like you want to save some money. You split some of them to your friends, some of them to your parents, some of them to your wife, maybe. If you want to really transfer, you combine them together. That's the basic understanding of Shamir secret sharing. It's easy, it's classic algorithm in the cryptology industry. We apply this into the wallet, and we are the first one to make it work for consumer. You don't need to buy the enterprise version from the MPC technology solution provider. You can use it now. And this is the wallet industry. You know that it's always a problem that a lot of assets are gone, right? So we think this is still a very big market. There's no such a wallet that have 10 million users right now. I know some wallets may have millions of users, but they need to remember your seed phrase, and that's not very convenient. However, if you use our wallet, you just need to keep some of your NFC card. If you use cold wallet, if you don't use cold wallet, use cold wallet, you can just store your key share in the Google Drive or Dropbox or whatever you prefer. The problem we have, the security, the user experience, and also the AI, which is a lot of fraud in the market right now. So we plan to add the technology, the cryptology technology, the AI functionality, and also user experience. So we have positioned us in a very unique. Yeah, the solution just now mentioned, we use on the bottom is a Shamir secret sharing technology, and we use AI to detect fraud. And also, we have cold wallet if you don't want to make your wallet up. Yeah. That's our product. Actually, we launched the live product last week. And also today, we announced that we support cat token. Wow, come on.
Wow.
We have launched very soon.
Is that price list there live?
Yes. I have
Really?
one with me now. Yeah.
So one cat for $4 now?
Again? If you use cold water to transfer the cat, yeah. Okay, that's it. So join us and discuss about this new wallet for the market. Thank you.
Alright, thank you guys for joining, for listening to all of the speakers, and taking interest in us and Cat Protocol and DotSwap. And everyone follow sCrypt, follow DotSwap, follow Jack Liu if you knew where he is, and follow Safnect wallet, I think. Yeah. So this venue is rented until like 1 p.m. So we have plenty of time to network, get to know each other, say hi to your neighbors, introduce yourself, have a good time here. Grab a cup of coffee. Thank you guys. There is a Wi-Fi password. That.
So you.